this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And who is this, and 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 thus is this, and 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 that, and that, and this, and this, and that, and that, and this, and thus is this, and thus is that, and that is this, and this is that. And who is this cat in the hat? Who is this cat in the hat? Is he fat? Is he P-H-A-T? Or is he F-A-T? Who is this cat in the hat? Who's this cat in the hat? Is that Dr. Seuss? Or is it Lenny Bruce? Is it Lenny Bruce? Or Dr. Seuss? Or Mother Goose? Or Mother... That's Lenny Bruce. That's not Mother Goose. Or maybe it's Dr. Seuss, but he went in the spruce. He went in the spruce. What's the spruce? Dr. Seuss went into the spruce? Yes, he went into the spruce goose. Ah, what's the spruce goose? What's the spruce goose? Yes, what is the spruce goose? Excuse me, sir. Can you please tell me what the spruce goose is? I never heard of the spruce goose before. Well, it's right beside the Queen Mary, the spruce goose. Really, what's the Queen Mary? The Queen Mary is a boat that floats. A boat that floats upon a moat. Upon a moat, upon a moat. Upon a moat, upon a moat. A pond that floats upon a pond. Not upon a pond. Upon a moat. It's a boat that floats upon a boat? No, it's a float that boats behind a hoat. What do you mean a boat behind a hoat? Well, it's a hoot. What's a hoot? A hoot is a funny. What's a funny? A funny is a joke. What's a joke? Coke. Coke is a joke? Yes. People spend a lot of money on some powder to put up their nose that destroys their lives. That's a joke. Or maybe it's no joke. Coke is no joke. Coke is no joke. I went the other day to my new next door neighbors, the Abba-Dabba-Dooba-Dee-Dabba-Dabba-Dooba-Dees. And next door at the Abba-Dabba-Dooba-Dee-Dabba-Dabba-Dooba-Dees were other neighbors like the Ibba-Dabba-Dee-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dees. And the next door neighbors of the Ibba-Dabba-Dee-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dees are the Kaniba-Dabba-Dooba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dees. And the Kaniba-Dabba-Dee-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dees live next door to the Kadabba-Dee-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dees. And the Kaniba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dees live next door to the Kaniba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba-Dabba beggars, menagries live next door to the activities. And what are all these activities? Please, don't sneeze. Ha! Don't sneeze. Ha! Don't sneeze. Don't sneeze. Please. I'm here to bring you to your knees. I'm here to bring you to your knees. Please. Please, all you sneeze. All you sneeze, not you. Ha! All you sleaze, not you sneeze. All you sleaze, I'm here to bring you to your knees. Please. Please, please, please. Forget the cheese. Forget the cheese, forget the cheese. Forget the cheese, forget the wine. Forget the wine, forget to shine. Forget to shine, all you slime, full of crime. Spiritual crime, all you slime. You're slimy and unshiny. And you have no wit. You have no wit, you have no thrit. Thrit, what's thrit? You have no wit and you have no thrit. What's thrit? What's thrit? Yes, what's thrit? Well, thrit is wit mixed with a little bit of shit, and a little bit of threat. I call it thrit. Ah, interesting. It is? Of course it is. Really? Of course. Really? Of course it is. Of course it is? Yes, of course. What do you mean, of course? A golf course? No, of course. It's coming from the one and only source. Really? Of course it is. It is? Of course it is. Really? I didn't know that. Who's you? The cat in the hat? No, that's just the physical one in front of you. He's just a Jew, like all of yous. Created the blackball list out of Los Angeles and on Hollywood. He's a Jew like all of you, so you can't use the Jew line. Full of unshine, and full of lots of crime and slime, that Jew line. Ah, now a real Jew can use the Jew line on you and you and you and you. And you and you and you and you and you and you. And you and you. The Jew, the Jew, the Jew, the Jew. The Jew, the Jew. The Jew, the Jew. Unlike all of you, he thinks with his one and only smart, his heart, not led by the ego, the envy, the jealousy, the unfriendly, the brain, the drain that refrains from the one and only smart. The heart. And the heartbeat repeats. The heartbeat repeats. The heartbeat, the heartbeat, the heartbeat repeats. Through Pete. Who's Pete? Peter. Who's Peter? Sweeter Peter. Sweeter Peter what? Sweeter Peter John Paul. Sweeter Peter John Paul? Yes. Yes? Of course. And then who's speaking through Sweeter Peter John Paul? Or is it Peter Palpin? The name I've given him. Who's I? The one and only that's not full of bologna or kosher salami. Who's not a phony, like all the non-homies of Los Angeles and un-Hollywood and New York City, city of non-witty. And I pity the fool. I pity the fool. As Mr. T once said, Mr. T, Mr. Toy, Mr. Toy, Mr. Boat, Mr. Boat, Mr. Float, Mr. Quote, Mr. Vote. Ah, yes, he quotes all those lines out of the Bible. All those lines that sometimes shine and sometimes don't. Because you cannot quarrel with a moral. You cannot quarrel with a moral. That line is pure and utterly floral. And you do reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. You reap and you reap. And you reap what you sow. Don't you know? Don't you know you reap what you sow? You left that in all your books in the Bible. It says in the Bible, you reap what you sow. And so it is, and so it was, and so it was, and so it is. And it is, and it was, and it was, and it was. And it twists, and it twast, and it twat, and the twit. And the twit, and the twat, and the twat, and the tit. And the titties, and the titties. And the titties, and the shitty. And the shitty, and the pity, and the fitty, and the fitty. And the fitty, and the faddle, and the faddle, and the battle. And the battle, and the tattle of the tail. In the tail of the tile. In the tile of the file. In the file, in the file, in the file, in the file. In the fire, in the dyer, in the dyer, in the tire. In the tire of the cars, and the tires on the trucks. In the muck, and the mire, and the mire, and the mick. In the mick, and the lick, and the lick, and the lack to the luck, and the luck of the draw. And the draw of the law, and the law of the lamb. And the law of the lamb, and the law of the clam. And the clam, and the climb to the top. To the top, to the top, to the top of the top. To the tippity, toppity, toppity tip. To the clippity, clappity, clappity clip. To the hippity, hoppity, hoppity hip. To the hippiest, hoppiest hips. To the slips and the slaps and the clips and the claps. And the claps and the clucks and the flux and the flukes. And the flukes and the klooks and the clucks and the clan. And the man and the man and the man and the man. And the sham and the sham and the sham and the sham. And the shimmy and the shammy and the bammy and the bimmy.